بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back to my channel QHE Tajweed Rules of the Qur'an channel in English. Today inshallah we will talk about the basmala. What's basmala mean? Word Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. How can we start with it? And some details about it in the Quran. Let's go together and see first thing the basmala. Basmala, it is the first verse in Surah Al-Fatiha, and it is in beginning of each surah except Surah At-Tawba. Inshallah, this is clear for you. So remember all the time Surah At-Tawba, or we call it Bara'a, both names. It's not a start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I can't start it with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's go together here and see way to see Basmala and Isti'atha. And Isti'atha mean A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Basmala means Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim with the surah. There is a ways to say Isti'atha and Basmala with the surah. There is 4 ways total. We can start the surah with it. First way, cutting all 3 off from each other. What I mean by that? I mean I will say Isti'atha and take a breath and then say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and take another breath, and then I will read the beginning of the surah or the surah I'm planning to read. How we do it? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد. So I take a breath between each one. I cut all of them from each other. And I make the breath very clear. Of course, nobody read by this way, but I'm trying to show it to you in the record and make it clear for you. Second way I can read Isti'atha and Basmala and the surah with joining all 3 with each other. And this means I will say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد in one breath. How can we do it? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد. Easy? Inshallah easy. Our third one is joining the Isti'atha with Basmala and cut it from the beginning of the surah. How can we do it? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد. So Isti'atha with Basmala, stop, taking a breath, and then I read the beginning of the surah. Our last way here is cutting Isti'atha from Basmala and connect Basmala with the beginning of the surah. How can we do it? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد. Inshallah, this is clear for you. I think it's easy, nothing hard on it. All these ways is allowed to use to start your reading with Isti'atha and Basmala. and the beginning of any surah, or from the place you are planning to read from. Isti'adha, you need to say isti'adha all the time, but basmala, it's choice in the middle of the surah, but it's better if you find a verse start with the name of Allah, or about Prophet Muhammad, or about mu'mineen, or about one of the characteristics of Allah, to say basmala between isti'adha and the beginning of this part. You will read respect for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the name of Him, and respect for the mu'min, and respect for isti'adha. We ask Allah to avoid us or protect us from shaitan. So it's better if you put basmala in between. If you start verses with al-kafirun, with the hellfire, with adhab, with something like that, it's better if you start isti'adha and the part of the surah right away. I got a lot of questions about ayat al-kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayy al-qayyum. A lot of people say, let's say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. It's better in this case if we say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. Why? Because this verse is start with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not nice to continue after shaitan word with the name of Allah. It's not respect. It's not something beautiful. So it's better in this case to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim between isti'adha and the beginning of surah. A lot of people, they have a thing in their mind, if I start from the middle of the surah, or if I start from the middle of any place in the Qur'an, I should to start isti'adha and right away I read the surah. You need to understand the verse to see if you will say basmala or you will just say isti'adha and start the reading right away. Inshallah, this point is clear. Let's go here and see the basmala between two surah. Word Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, if I connect two surahs together, if I read two surahs in one. I have here 4 cases. 3 of them is allowed and 1 is not allowed to do. What's the 3 ways it's allowed to do? Number 1, cut off all of them. So, for example, if I finish Surah Al-Falaq and I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and I connect Surah An-Nas after, or I will continue Surah An-Nas after that, I will cut each one. Cut means I will take a breath between. So how can I read it? وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس. Inshallah, clear. Our second way, it's allowed to joining all of them. How can I do that? وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Of course, need longer breath. رحمة الله على الشيخ الحصري ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله, he was reading whole surah in one breath, ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Long the breath, to make your breath long, it's need practicing. It has a special practicing to make it longer. Joining the basmala with the beginning of the surah, and this is still allowed. How can I will do it? وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس. Inshallah, clear. There is still one way, but it's not allow, it's not right. I will just do it to show you how it is. But again, this is not right. It's not allowed to do it. How can we do it? Joining the end of the surah with the basmala, then stop and take a breath, and then start the beginning of the next surah. Why it's not allowed? Because this is gives the one who listening, the one who hears the reader, feeling like basmala is part from the surah before, and it's not a part from the surah before. Let's see how can we do it, and this is still not right. ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس. This is wrong. This way is not allowed. It's wrong. Again, it's give a feeling for the one who listening. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's part from Surah Al-Falaq, and this is not true. Okay, so this is the basmala between the two surahs. Our lesson for today is completely done. Inshallah, next time we will talk about the beginning of Surah At-Tawba. How can we start with it? And how can we connect Surah Al-Anfal with Surah At-Tawba, and more details inshallah next class. Jazakumullah khairan. To watch my channel QHE Tajweed Rules of the Quran channel in English. Please, if you don't subscribe yet, please subscribe, like and share. It's very important to share everywhere so knowledge can go everywhere. Plus the channel will be continue inshallah, and it's not a stop. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.